Most of the time I do this. So when I buy my ticket to go to the concert, I gotta use my BBA Select card, that way I get 4% cash back on my entertainment purchases. Then I gotta use my Amex Gold card for all my dining purchases at the concert, because that way I get 4 points per dollar on all my food. Then if I do Uber or Lyft, I gotta use my green card for triple points on transit, but in case I decide to rent a car, I might do my Sapphire Preferred for primary rental car insurance. Then when I check into the Marriott Bonvoy program hotel, I gotta use my Marriott card for 2 nights, and then when I switch over to the 3rd night to Hyatt, I gotta use my Hyatt card, and for everything else, I gotta use my Citi Double Cash card. But most people ain't got no time for none of that. Hey everyone, it's Mark. I'm here to help you put more money in your pocket through credit cards and smart financial habits. If that sounds good to you, then do me a quick favor and click on the like and subscribe button down below. Also check out the links down below in the description area to view some great credit card offers, to get some additional cash back when you shop online through Rakuten, and to sign up for MAXREWARDS, which is a fantastic app to manage all of your credit cards and rewards in one place. It also allows you to track your purchases across all cards and helps you identify which card to use to earn the most rewards. And if you sign up for MAXREWARDS Gold, it automatically activates your card-linked offers, quarterly spend categories, and a whole lot more. You can get your first month free by using the link in the description. Now I'm pretty sure you can tell from the looks of this channel that I definitely enjoy credit cards. And as much as I genuinely do love maximizing the rewards that I get on my credit cards for my day-to-day life, sometimes I go on a trip or go out for some fun over a long weekend, and I simply don't want to worry about a huge fat wallet with 14 different credit cards and maximizing every single point that I possibly can. Because you usually end up having a better time when you're enjoying the company of the friends and family around you, rather than sitting in your hotel room by yourself with your spreadsheet counting your credit card points. 45,892, 45,893. Where's 45,894? I lost 1 point. Ah! And as a matter of fact, I recently got back from 2 different trips, and on both of those trips, I only used 1 credit card. And now that I'm back from both of those trips, I actually went through all of my expenses to see what types of rewards I earned in terms of cash back or travel reward points. And then I also saw what my opportunity cost was. In other words, what did I miss out on by only using 1 card instead of a multi-card setup? And we're going to talk about exactly what happened in this video, so that way you can be educated and entertained. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Trip number 1 was over to Dallas, Texas, and the card I used was the Amex Green Card. Boom. And the reason why I selected this card is because the rewards categories covered the majority of what I would be spending on, namely triple points on travel, triple on transit, triple on restaurants, and 1 point per dollar on other purchases. And in this case, travel covers things like airfare, hotels, rental cars, etc. And then transit covers things like taxis, ride shares, bridges, toll roads, parking, and more. AKA all the stuff I spent money on. On the left-hand side is a screenshot with the majority of the transactions that I put onto the Amex Green Card. And yes, it's pretty small there on the screen, so I did all the math for you and I added them all up together and divided them into different categories. First up is transit there in blue. That covers all of my ride shares, and that was $261.96. Then in green, I added up all of my hotel expenditures, which was $660.43. That included the room rates, fees and taxes, and anything that I charged to the room, which also included some meals. Then when I decided to eat outside of the property, my dining expenses out and about in the city were $98.93, and then other was an additional $8. And that was simply an in-flight Wi-Fi purchase on Southwest Airlines. It did not count as a travel purchase, so therefore I simply put it under the other category. Now let's take a look at the points. So again, on the left-hand side for the screenshot, American Express does a great job of showing you when you earned bonus points. So you see all the triple point or 3x point categories on the column there outlined in red. And in case you're curious, Amex only shows you the bonus points here, meaning more than 1 point per dollar. That's why the in-flight Wi-Fi purchase there on May 31st shows nothing there for the points, because it was not anything beyond 1 point per dollar. And yes, I verified I still got 1 point per dollar on that purchase. Now, moving back to the right-hand side of the screen, I show the point multipliers from the Amex Green Card, which was triple points on transit, triple on hotels, triple on dining, and 1x on everything else. Then below each of the dollar totals in yellow font, I put the actual total points that I earned. So for the transit purchases, I earned 786 points. Hotels yielded 1,981. Dining brought in 297, and other brought in 8 points. And adding all of those up, I earned 3,072 points total. Okay, cool, but what are 3,072 points worth? Well, to put a dollar figure on those 3,072 points, it depends on how you redeem them. If I were to redeem them toward travel using one of Amex's transfer partners, on average, I may be able to get around 2 cents per point, so that would yield a value of $61.44. But if I were to redeem for cash back via my Schwab Platinum card, which is currently giving a 1.25 cent per point value, then I would get $38.40. Okay, cool, so I earned about 3,000 points, which is worth around 38 bucks for cash back or around $61 for travel. But what if I had used more than just one card? What if I had combined the power of the Amex Green Card with some other cards that I have that got higher rewards in different categories and then pool all my points together to get a higher return on all my spend? We're now entering into the opportunity cost section of this video on my first trip, and here's exactly what would have happened. First of all, on the left-hand side is still the one card setup. You can see here the Amex Green Card used for every single category that I spent in. All of the dollar totals are the same, all the individual points are the same, and of course the total points is still 3,072. So that's all the stuff that we've already covered. But now let's say I used 3 different cards. In this case, it would have been the American Express Green Card, plus the American Express Gold, and the Blue Business Plus. My purchases for transit and hotels still would have gone on the Amex Green Card for this particular trip, because of course transit makes the most sense with triple points there. That's the best return that I have from all of my other cards. And for hotels, I actually stayed at 3 different properties. One of them was all on points, the second one was a free night certificate, and the third property was an Omni hotel. So the first 2 hotels were covered with rewards, and then Omni does not have its own co-branded credit card, so I still would have chosen the green card for that stay. However, I would have added in the gold card to maximize my dining at 4 points per dollar, and then the Blue Business Plus, which gives me double points on all other purchases. The points earned for the green card transactions remains the same, and then the gold card would have given me 396 points, and then the Blue Business Plus would have given me 16 points. And that makes the new point total 3,179 points. Now let's move into part 2 of this opportunity cost discussion and convert all the points into a dollar figure. Once more, we have the one card setup with just the green card on the left-hand side, which we saw earlier, but now with the 3 card setup on the right-hand side, those 3,179 points become $63.58 toward travel. Again, this is on average when using transfer partners, or for cash back, I would have gotten $39.74 when cashing out via my Schwab Platinum card at 1.25 cents per point. So the 3 card setup definitely won, but only by a super small margin. In fact, let's see exactly what that margin was. Using 3 cards, it gave me $63.58 toward travel and $39.74 toward cash back. And from that, we will subtract my earnings from the 1 card setup. $61.44 on travel and $38.40 toward cash back. So my opportunity cost on this specific trip from a 1 card versus a 3 card setup would have been $2.14 lost towards travel, again on average, or a loss of $1.34 for cash back. And am I okay with losing out on that money? Stick to the end of this video and I will let you know. But first, we've got trip number 2 to go over. This time around, I went over to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and the card that I used was the BBVA Select card. It earns 4 points per dollar on entertainment, triple on dining, double on travel, and 1 point per dollar on everything else. Now, the purpose of this trip was a music festival. It was CCNF, or Carolina Country Music Festival. So naturally, my first purchase was the ticket to the festival. I purchased it well before the trip began, back in February of 2021. The festival was not until June of 2021, but of course you want to get in case the tickets were to sell out. But I charged that ticket price to the BBVA Select card for $227.47. Then while I was on the trip, I spent $59.37 for transit, which was using Lyft to get around. Then on dining, I spent $317.01, and then some other miscellaneous purchases of $121.07, which was mostly adult beverages for the beach, but because that was a local convenience store next to the hotel, it did not code as dining or grocery or anything like that. Maybe I'll have to get the Coors Light World Elite MasterCard if that ever comes out someday. Anyway, on to the points. For my festival ticket purchase, I did earn 4 points per dollar, so that was 909 points. Transit was just 1 point per dollar, so that was 59 points there. Dining in the triple point category was 951 points, and then other was 1 point per dollar or 121 points. If we add all of that up together, it was a total of 2,040 points. And what are those worth? In the world of BBVA, those 2,040 points are worth $20.40 whether you redeem them for travel or cash back. All right, are you all ready to see how much money I missed out on? Let's go into the opportunity cost section to see whether a one card versus a multi-card setup would have been a better fit. On the left-hand side, we have the one card setup with just the BBVA Select card, so everything there is what you've already seen. But now on the right-hand side, I chose to do a 4-card setup, which is what I would have chosen if I were to do a maximized trip. I still would have used the BBVA Select card for my purchase of the festival ticket for 4 points per dollar or 4% cashback on entertainment. But then for transit, I would have brought in the Amex Green card. For dining, I would have swapped in the Amex Gold, and then for the other purchases, I would have used the Blue Business Plus. So my points on the festival ticket would have remained the same, but transit would have yielded 178 points, dining would have yielded 1,268, and other would have yielded 242. And that would have made the total for the 4-card setup 2,597 points. And to make that easier to understand, we'll now go from points over to dollars. We've already seen that the 1-card setup on the left would have yielded $20.40. But now with the 4-card setup, those 2,597 points would have had two different values based on how you redeem them. For travel, I could have gotten up to $42.85 in value, and that's combining the 1 cent per point value on the points earned from the BBVA cards and a 2 cent per point average value for the Amex points if I redeem them using transfer partners. Then for cashback, I could have earned $30.19, which again involves a 1 cent per point value for the points earned from the BBVA card and a 1.25 cent per point value on the Amex points earned from cashing out via the Schwab Platinum card. So here the discrepancy between these two setups is obviously a lot bigger than on my first trip. The 4-card setup was the clear winner here, but let's see exactly by how much. So we've got the 4-card setup yielding $42.85 in travel value or $30.19 of cashback value. Then if we subtract out the totals from a 1-card setup, which was $20.40 for both travel and cashback, the difference, or in other words, the opportunity cost here was $22.45 for travel and $9.79 lost for cashback. All right, well, before I express how I feel about all this, let me first summarize what we actually just went over in terms of expressing what I gained versus what I lost. For trip number 1, where I exclusively used the Amex Green card, I lost $1.34 of value for cash back and $2.14 of value towards travel. Then for trip number 2, where I only used the BBVA Select card, I lost $9.79 of value for cash back and $22.45 toward potential travel. However, I gained the convenience of using only one card. I also had no mental math headaches trying to figure out which card I should pull out of my wallet to use for which purchase all the time. I also had complete ease of tracking expenses both on the trip and when I got back home. And I also experienced massive ease of splitting costs with other people because I didn't have to worry about which costs went on which card and which purchases on which card I split with certain people. That would have been a nightmare. And now I shall express my innermost feelings about how I feel using one card per trip. Quite frankly, it was awesome. Again, I normally carry a variety of different cards with me pretty much at all times to maximize my purchases no matter where I'm going. But because both of these trips involve sharing costs with other people, it was so much easier to have one card to track all of my expenses and just actually divide up costs from there. I can only imagine the frustration of having like 4, 5, or 6 credit card statements and trying to highlight which card goes to which purchase and then which purchase was divided by which person on which day of the trip. It would have just been so stressful. Plus, right now I'm spending most of my time on Team Cashback. So if you looked at my losses from both trips, it was about $9.79, I believe, on one trip and $1.34 on the other. So I lost maybe $11 total across 2 trips. For me, $11 was worth the massive peace of mind and severely reduced stress. Of course, your mileage and approach may totally vary. You might want to maximize every single cent or every point on all of your trips all the time, and that's totally cool. But for me personally, there are times where I simply want to not worry about any of that, still get a very good return on all of my spend, but choose the best card to use so that way every time I whip it out to pay for something, I know I'm getting at least a good return, even if it could have been a little bit better, but I'm buying back time while also lowering my stress and focusing more on having a good time. And with all of that said, if you enjoyed today's video and believe it could benefit others, then please help me get it in front of more people by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and turning on those notifications. Also, check out the links down below in the description area to view some great credit card offers, to get some additional cash back when you shop online through Rakuten, and to sign up for MAXREWARDS, which is a fantastic app to manage all of your credit cards and rewards in one place. It also allows you to track your purchases across all cards and helps you identify which card to use to earn the most rewards. And if you sign up for MAXREWARDS Gold, it automatically activates your card-linked offers, quarterly spend categories, and a whole lot more. You can get your first month free by using the link in the description. And lastly, I'd love to know what your approach would be if you were going on a trip with some other people, you're sharing or splitting costs. Would you have gone with the one-card approach or the multi-card approach? Let me know down below in the comments. I thank you all for tuning into today's video. I hope it brought you some great value and perhaps a new perspective. I'll see you again in future videos, and until then, remember, you are great.